So I'm going to make a video about why it is that America will never have martial law. Or rather, you will never be so lucky as to have martial law. It seems to me that all the heavy conspiracy theorists such as David Icke, Alex Jones, Godlike Productions, things like that, ironically, the moderators, the real problem, always want to blame the government that they're going to take your baby and, stick a gun in your asshole and have martial law and stick a chip up your pee or whatever, but it's not going to happen. And do you know why? Because there is too much unbridled capitalism within American borders to let that happen. You are not going to have authoritarian regimes under the guise of classical government intrusion in your lives. You are already more controlled than any other country in the world. Bigger than Iran, more than North Korea, more than, Syria, more than fucking anywhere. You name the place, you have more authoritarian regime. And it has nothing to do with government. Government is not the reason why you cannot live your life day by day. It is the corporate elite that control the government, and by extension control everything. They control the banks, they control the resources, they control the means of production, they control the corporate logos, they control what you see, what you hear, what you think, they control the schools, they control everything. The very fact that you think government alone can do that much just shows how fucking ignorant you are. Let me put it to you another way. If you thought that martial law was going to come to your nation, why then is it that mercenaries like Blackwater make at least a six-figure income? Even the most lowliest of Blackwater subordinates make pretty damn good money. Much better money than your American soldiers in the Army, Navy, Marines, etc. make. So the best that a soldier could hope to do is get a lot of medals and get a lot of rank in the official military branches, then turn around and join the more shady, underhanded mercenary business and make a whole lot of fucking money. So just that alone shows that no, you are not going to have martial law, at least as you think of it, in America. You may have more militia activity in America. You may find one day that private security firms are able to throw gas bombs at you and hit you with nightsticks, and the government will look the other way to it. I mean, hell, they do it right now. Look at Occupy Wall Street. Occupy Wall Street can get the ribs cracked open by officers that probably are not on the clock as public officers, but probably privately hired to do that. They are privately hired to crack those ribs. It has nothing to do with public office, because the government is bound by certain obligations because of the nature of government. So, instead of government, what you have is privatized government. What you have is privatized authority, and there is no accountability for that, and you have not even sought to have it be accountable for its actions. That's why I talk about moderators so much, because you believe that moderators have absolutely nothing to contribute. They don't need to contribute. They can just fucking leech off of us. They can say whatever they want. They can do whatever they want to us, and nothing's done about it. And then you wonder why you're in the position that you're in. It's only going to get worse for you, I assure you that. But it has nothing to do with government. There is never going to come a time where your economy is going to circulate in such a way as to promote martial law. Because martial law would entail a strict surveillance of private capital, if nothing else. I mean, if the state did not outright take over private industry, it would at least regulate it to where it was going, when, why, how. You will never see a time where the state intervenes that much in the private affairs of companies that they know who's buying what and who's selling what. You will never be that lucky. What you are going to have is more unbridled, uninhibited, unregulated, free market, laissez-faire capitalism. That's all you fucking have. That's why it's not the taxation that's hurting you. It's not the welfare state that's hurting you. You don't get any fucking welfare. And most of you are exempt from taxes, especially the big businesses. Because they're always saying that if they don't tax the businesses, if they tax the businesses, then they will not be able to hire people. So you're just presuming that out of the kindness of their heart, they'll hire people, as opposed to, doing what capitalism does best and firing people, laying off people to increase productivity because there are cheaper means. Machines are cheaper than people. Machines last longer. They don't need breaks. They don't need to take a shit. They don't need lunch. They don't need anything. They just operate until they fucking shut down. So in inevitably, always, capitalism is going to fire more people, have more people unemployed, there is going to be a larger wage gap, a larger class gap, and you don't want to fucking learn. You just want to continue to be lenient on taxation of the rich, assuming they're going to be Santa Claus, and just give you bountiful gifts of, jobs and high wages and good standards of living and labor rights and things like that. And without accountability, without some kind of government restrictions, you can't rely on that. You cannot rely on the good nature of people to make things better. I think it's awfully ironic that capitalists always say we communists are utopians, and that we believe in a pipe dream, and that, communism seems good on paper. No, capitalism doesn't even seem good on paper. Even when you look at it on a paper, it looks pretty bad. It looks like you are just letting people do whatever the fuck they want to, mess with people's lives, and nothing is accounted for. There is no restrictions whatsoever other than the free market, which says that if they're too evil, people will take their business elsewhere. Well, too little, too fucking late. Your baby's dead, you're dead, your family's dead, your friends are dead, everybody's fucking dead because of your stupidity. Everybody was sitting there twiddling their thumbs or playing with themselves when Ron Paul was on CNN or whatever, rather than actually getting involved, voting, participating, taking action, and fucking putting these company bastards in line. So don't fucking tell me about martial law. You would be so lucky as to live under martial law. Because then the only kind of capitalists that could succeed in martial law would be those that produce weaponry. Only those companies that directly were responsible for empowering the government would succeed. And Facebook is not empowering the government. Craigslist is not empowering the government. eBay, Google, things like that are not empowering the government. They're eating the government. They are taking the government's place. They are making the government obsolete and making government their little lapdog. Because the government does not have the funds or the trust of the people or anything in between to be able to do what needs to be done. So, no, there is no possible way your government is going to be able to do what you're so scared of them doing. But meanwhile, your rights are being taken away right in front of your eyes by these private corporations, and you don't give a fuck. You don't give a fuck that you don't have a right to your free speech. You don't give a fuck that you don't have a right to association. You don't give a fuck that you don't have a right to your religion. You don't give a fuck that the entire span of your life depends on what a company thinks or doesn't think of you. And at any time, everything you own and everything you have can be shut down at the drop of a hat. And it has nothing to do with the government. It's not the government repossessing your home. It's the mortgage companies. It's the insurance companies. It's the loan sharks. It's things like that. Every single level of it is privatized. And you're still fucking blaming the government. What is wrong with you? Why are you so convinced and so obsessed with the government when your government is this fucking big? You are always saying about how government should be so small as you could drown it in a tub. You already fucking drowned it in the tub. And you're seeing the end result of that. You're seeing the end result of 100 and some years of unregulated economy and how capitalism can just do whatever it wants to, from slavery to indirect slavery. And now that the consequences are happening, you still want to fucking blame government. Just like you always want to blame Jim Profit. Oh, Jim Profit's a troll. Jim Profit is this. Jim Profit is that. Guess what? It isn't Jim Profit banning you. It isn't Jim Profit e-begging for money. It isn't Jim Profit plastering spam ads all over the fucking website. It isn't Jim Profit putting spyware in your computer. It isn't Jim Profit doing anything. You just don't like what Jim Profit has to say, but somehow that makes Jim Profit accountable for all the ills in the world, on the internet anyway. Does that make a damn bit of sense? No. But it doesn't matter to you. It doesn't have to make sense to you. As long as you have a straw man to beat down, as long as you have someone else to place all your faults and blames on, while things continually get worse, and you doom the next generation to perpetual wage enslavement, you will not fucking learn. It doesn't matter to you. You've already lost everything, and you still don't get it. So it's not going to matter if tomorrow Facebook or Google or whatever kicks down your fucking door and sticks a gun in your mouth. You're not going to fucking care, because you didn't care yesterday, you didn't care the day before, you're not going to care tomorrow. So, why even bother talking about the government? Why even bother? Why, if martial law happened tomorrow, how would your life be any different? You're not worried about other people telling you what to do. Otherwise, people can fucking ban you, they can slander you, they can slam you into the ground, and you're perfectly content with it. So what are you so scared about under martial law? If anything, martial law could not be anywhere near that, because it would have to be that to everybody. Martial law would have to restrict borders. Martial law would have to restrict imports and outports. Martial law would have to restrict how our economy is run. Martial law would have to infect the economy as we know it today and turn it upside down. It would completely have to reform the economy. And there's no way it's going to be able to do that, at least not nearly fast enough to have any sort of recovery effect. So you have absolutely nothing to worry about. There's never going to be any martial law. Calm your little head, go back to sleep, and listen to fucking Alex Jones 3 hours a day. Because guess what? The tyranny that you're going to get is already here. And it gets worse. So, I guess that's all I have to tell you dumbasses for now.